Evening, Kami, Chris, how's it going, guys? Walter, Bug, how's it going, guys? Heat is boiling my brain. Nice, nice. Love that. Also, check that this music doesn't delete your stream, bro. It's Persona 3 music. I should be fine. Walter, 2.26 hours. I assume you're referring to the special episode release? Yes, yes. Not. How's it going, man? Music seems distant. I am sorry. What's happening is normally I have my headphones in and then it picks it up directly through output. Now what's happening is I can't find my fucking headphones. I don't know if my head is starting to hurt. I'm sorry, buddy. You know what? Give me 2 seconds. Let me just see if I can find my fucking headphones, okay? This is gonna piss me off too. Fuck. Harsh, how's it going, man? As always, I have a difficult time finding the hole. First one releases today, Chris. Alright. Did the music get better now? It's Saturday morning Hong Kong time, I think it is. Yes, good to hear. Pete. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll be watching it in 10 hours until I wake up. I will try to stay up for it and just watch it with you guys. If you guys want to do like a watch party in the Discord or something, I will try to see if I can be available for it. When you planning to do Outer Wild stream? Harsh, we're gonna do it either tomorrow, if I can't do it tomorrow. So no stream Sunday, by the way, just as a heads up. Fuck, dude, my hair. If I can just get it all in a bun like this, looks so good. But it goes like this for now. Fuck, this is so cringe. Once it gets long enough to do this, oh my god, this is gonna be cooking. I like this look. Last chapter is 8:20. Did you not update? I left it at 8:20? I didn't get to 8:25? Are you sure? No, I'm pretty sure I got to 8:25. I just don't think I uploaded it. I just don't think I updated it. Okay, if I cannot do an Outer Wild stream tomorrow, I promise we will be doing a shit ton of them next week, okay? So next week, I'm off work. I don't have any work. Left early, you retired? God. Okay, because I'm off work next week. So I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe I do like long day streams or I do like 2-hour morning streams, leave it, 2-hour night streams, and just fucking whoop, just Superman through them. I was tired. Oh, I'm so cringe. God. Old me is so fucking stupid. He always leaves it for future me. God damn it. Idiot. Are you more excited for the 20-minute City of Silver, 15-minute marked hunt? City of Silver, for sure. I'm very excited to see how they... Because visually and tonally, that they're very important. Just again, that vacation or working for those ties. I already have the vacation. And the thing is, so vacations are obviously like paid time off, right? It's PTO. So I'm getting paid. I just don't get to do the overtime for it that I would have wanted to if I didn't have it booked off. But like I can't cancel it now because then I'm gonna get some shit whole week in like middle of September or some bullshit that like no one wanted as vacation. So like I'll just take it. Like I'll just live on fucking, I don't know, canned soup or some shit. I don't fucking know. Or I'll steal my brother's credit card and buy food from there. I don't know. Just get me away from here. I don't care. Emoji. What a fucking dog shit word. Alright, I'm going to do connections and I'm doing LOTMDO and then we're starting to read, okay? Because I'm genuinely excited to read, so we're reading this bitch, okay? You ready? I feel decent today, so let's get to reading. And I don't have too long today either because I wasn't supposed to stream today anyway, so let's just get after it. Viscount, what? Chopsticks, miso paste, soy sauce. Volume 5 is pretty peak, not gonna lie. Dude, did I... Things you find at a Chinese restaurant? Fucking cringe. The entertainer, the people pleaser, If tires went out during volume 2, we would be reading Reverend Insanity right now. Not. If you told me that I could just read Reverend Insanity and that would somehow help get my tires paid off, I swear to God, I'll start reading Reverend Insanity right now. I'll do it. I do not care, okay? I'll read the rest of COI off stream. Who gives a fuck? Bro, okay? Nah, we don't do sink cost fallacy over here, okay? I'm an accounting grad. I'm not gonna get stuck in the sunk cost fallacy. Let me be clear. If I thought that was the way out right now, I would do it right now. I have no fucking emotional connection at all. Okay, I'll do it. What the is this? I don't fucking, let's just do LOTMDO, bro. I don't fucking care. I'll just leave it. I don't care. 50 epoch female sequence. Either 3 or 5. 3 or 5 Geo? No. Earlier than Geo. Audrey. Sequence 5 Visionary. Sequence 5 Visionary early. Who is a female spectator we learn early in the series? What? I will aid bug in hunting wisdom. I will find and do what, bug? I'm so curious. What did you threat? Okay, sequence 5 Visionary. Who the fuck? Female sequence 5 Visionary. YouTube will censor me? Pussy. Tracy, no. Daily is not that. Frankly is not that. We know you're in Canada. Oh, Bug, if you ask a devil, he knows what city I'm into. It won't help you. And besides, what are you gonna fucking, what are you gonna say? Oh no, I can't believe that you... Oh, Ron, how's it going, man? We the best? I don't know about all that, Chief. Bro, who the fuck is this? A visionary female? Sequence 5, visionary, 50 POC, female. Who the fuck is a female visionary in Sequence 5? Early series, like earlier than chapter 100. Who the fuck are we talking about? Did Mexico have a game today, Bose? I don't know. Who the fuck is Snowman? Steve. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Someone irrelevant? The Psychology Alchemist could not be this early, no? So Audrey did not join the Psychology Alchemist that soon? Miss Sloth Envy or some shit? I don't know. Wasn't it like that? I don't... Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just start reading it. Let's just skip everything today. I left at 8:20. I did leave at 8:20. You fucking cringe, Lord. God, past me, fucking lazy bitch. Leaving everything for me. Ugh. It was Susie. We need more COI? Yeah, no fucking lie. You guys are fucking liars. I did not finish at 8:22. Liars. I'm reading through them. I finished 8:23, 8:24. I left at 8:24, you fucking bombs. I did start at... I was supposed to start at 8:25. Fuck you guys. Doubting me. I just didn't update the chapter numbers. I do that when I'm nervous or sleepy. Listen, is it my fault for not updating it? A little bit? Shut up, who's asking, okay? Shut the fuck up, Colin. God. The hermit followed the fucking cringe. Let me turn off my nice persona music first. God damn it. The hermit followed the vibrant thread of yarn through the tunnel in her pumpkin carriage. She didn't know how long she had been descending when she arrived at the naturally formed cave. The vibrant yarn ball stopped there. The swarm of mice and pumpkin carriage vanished, and the hermit floated down, her feet touching the ground. She didn't need to remove her glasses to see the pools of pus-like blood on the ground, eroding the soil. For a moment, she seemed to see a scene from the past, of figures staggering towards the cave, each step leaving a pus of blood that sizzled as it corroded the rocks. The hermit weaved through the pools of blood as it entered the cave, but it was empty. It was as if the figure had exhausted all its flesh and blood, leaving no trace, and vanished. Has Camarella disappeared like this? The hermit thought. The intense heat conjured by 9 blazing flames caused the pools of blood to evaporate. Then the Major Arcana holder removed her glasses. The blood immediately changed. It wasn't blood, but dense, intertwined, complex symbols or letters. These symbols or letters grouped together, eroding various rocks and soil, bright red and dazzling. Even with her knowledge of mysticism, the hermit couldn't identify what they represented. Camarella's flesh and blood transformed into this, the hermit thought for a moment, and decided to strip away the bloody symbols and letters and take them to a higher-ranking cryptologist. We know one of those, I think. Marora, Carnivore Bar. Lumion had another nightmare, but this time he was clearly aware that he was dreaming. He dreamed of walking through a dark, lightless tunnel with stone slabs beneath his feet and bricks in the walls with rusty lamps every so often, none lit. Lumion wandered aimlessly, sometimes turning right, sometimes descending stairs, sometimes resting against a wall. Suddenly he saw a yellowish light. In the glow, figures appeared in black robes, carrying quiet burning lanterns. Law enforcement, Lumion understood. Am I dreaming of the mausoleum? This matches the ceiling info of 001. Using my knowledge in corruption, did I recreate a tunnel of the mausoleum? The subject, despite being blindfolded, walked steadily, maintaining a straight line. I don't seem to be blindfolded. Will something happen? No, I'm just dreaming. Although lucid dreaming, Lumion's thoughts were sluggish. As he was about to pass by the experimental subject with lanterns, his gaze fell upon the lanterns. The lantern's glass case, framed in bronze, reflected a shadow. The shadow, human-like in shape, flickered and leapt to another lantern. The shadow wasn't mine, nor the lantern bearers. It's one of the mirror people corrupted by the mausoleum? Or perhaps the mirror person that infiltrated Marora. Lumion shivered, feeling more awake than before. He focused his gaze and saw the lightly distorted, human-like black shadow pause and look back at him. As their eyes met, the shadow vanished, and Lumion's eyes wavered, the entire tunnel lit by the lanterns. Within seconds, Lumion woke up, his eyes snapping open. The shaking continued, and his bed creaked. An earthquake, Lumion thought? In Marora, he had already experienced earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and torrential rain, hurricanes, tornadoes, hailstorms, and snowstorms. Often, more than one extreme weather event happened in a single day. Based on his physical assessment and experience, Lumion judged that this earthquake wouldn't collapse the sturdy bar, so he laid there calmly. If worse came to worse, he could still teleport to the cathedral. Staring at the still swaying ceiling, Lumion recalled a nightmare. Was I woken up by the earthquake? Or did my nightmare trigger the earthquake? Lumion believed after a while that it was the latter. This meant that his nightmare had truly connected to the mausoleum. Earlier, was I wandering through the mausoleum in some peculiar form, not needing to be blindfolded? Was everything I saw and experienced real? Was the mirror person on the lantern real too? So I guess the mausoleum, kind of like underground, kind of like the catacombs in Trier, you have to carry a lantern or you disappear or whatever. But that's why him existing there as like a dream thing caused kind of like a fluctuation, because like it's trying to delete him, but he's not really there, and it's like, what the fuck do I do with this guy? Right, that didn't look like the lantern bearer's mirror person. Their physical condition was noticeably different. Could it be that the mirror person from Trier? Did he use a special power of the mirror world to start exploring the mausoleum before any of us? If so, he may have been at it for many days. When he saw me, did he see what I look like? Yes, if one person enters the mausoleum without being blindfolded, the subjects will see the corresponding mirror person in their own eyes and be replaced. A series of questions flashed through Lumion's mind. He sat up and looked at the window. The earthquake had subsided, and the outside, the not-so-thick curtains, the sky seemed to be gently getting brighter. Lumin sighed, suppressing his thoughts, and decided to sleep a bit more until 6. He needed to be in his best condition to complete the remaining 3 days of study, or he may lose control. After waking up naturally, Lumin had breakfast prepared by Les and went to the cathedral, sitting in his usual spot and reading and monitoring. This way, if there was an anomaly in the underground mausoleum, he could teleport there instantly. After alternating between the thunderstorms and clear skies, Lumin finished his studies and headed back to the bar for lunch. 41C in Paris? What? Do you not have like air conditioning at the house coming? I know they're not quite as common in Europe as they are in North America. Like in North America, you gotta have the most dingiest fucking house possible to not have air conditioning. It'd be like, you gotta have a house from the fucking 70s that's never been updated. About a third of the way back, he heard a playful yet slightly pleasurable scream. Julie at it again? But it's bar's busy time. Did someone bother her? Lumin shook his head. Thinking Julie was quite unprofessional. Soon he made his way back to the bar and found the area in front of the bar and inside the hall empty, with tables and chairs overturned and glass shattered. It looked like Julie went berserk and attacked the patrons. What the fuck happened, Lumin thought. I have a small AC to keep me alive. Okay, nice. Dude, Chris, we had like, this was like 4 or 5 years ago, okay? The hottest week of the all year. It was like June, end of June, so like June 20 something, okay? It's like the hottest day of the week, the hottest week. And our AC fucking dies. And I'm like, what the fuck? And that's coincidentally the week that I'm building my computer. I get all my parts, and it's my first PC. And I'm like, bro, I'm making this shit right now. You're out of your fucking mind if you think I'm gonna let this shit sit for a week while we get the AC replaced. You're out of your fucking mind. So I start building it, and I'm like sweating my tits off over this. And I'm going, dude, if a fucking single bead of sweat drops onto this fucking motherboard, this whole shit is fucked. Like, it's just gonna fry itself because salt water conducts electricity. Voop. I'm going, please don't. So I'm making it. I'm like, and I get it all put together. And I'm like, if this shit doesn't run or if it blows up, I'm gonna kill myself. Because at that point, I'd been working for like 6 months. I was like, my first job, I was like 16. Yeah, this is like 5, maybe 17. This was like 5 or 6 years ago. And it was like, I'd worked for 6 months, and basically everything I'd earned in those 6 months just went to the computer. Literally everything. I was a fucking 16, 17-year-old. My fucking... I was making like minimum wage. My income was fucking dick. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, if this fucking blows up, I'm gonna kill myself. I just spent the better part of a year for nothing. And then I still remember it was like 11 p.m. when I got everything done, and I plug it in, and my dad is like staring as like I plug everything in, because in his mind he's going, oh, he's gonna fucking blow this up. Of course he's gonna fuck it up, right? And I turn it on, and the fan spin to life, and I'm like, okay, maybe. And then something comes on the monitor, and I'm not even, you guys are, I don't know if maybe I'm the miserable sack of shit. I don't even get happy when something good happens. I literally just breathe a sigh of relief, like I didn't fail. That's literally all that happened. I'm just like, okay, I'm not a fucking failure. I don't even get happy like, oh my god, I did something so cool. It's like, oh, thank god you're not a fucking idiot. That's all that happens. So I just put like my hands on my head in my hands, and I was like, we're fine. Jesus. And then I got to, download some games and be happy and shit. But in that moment, I was just more relieved than anything else. As the owner of the bar, he felt both distressed over the wasted liquor and keenly aware of the situation. He remembered that Julie seemed fine when he left in the morning, even proactively helping Les. Lumin sniffed the air, detecting a faint sense of blood, and the hint of something resembling chestnut flowers. To most men, the latter scent was familiar. Something's off. Based on my observation, Julie finished her collection before the target reached the peak of pleasure. This time, the scent is noticeable. Did she let the owner of the collection enjoy themselves? Lumin frowned as he followed the smell, opening Julie's door. On Julie's bed lay Les, naked. Eyes wide open, his legs a mess. He was dead. Julie attacked Les? Lumen looked into Les's eyes, extreme pleasure, relaxation, and pain, with no sign of a battle in the room. This made Lumen suspect that Les had willingly gone to bed with Julie. But he knew better. Similarly, Julie's behavior was different, seemingly allowing Les to finish. Did Les seek liberation? Lumen wasn't shocked by this, but found it too sudden. His gaze fell on the lifeless bloodstain at Les's mouth. After a few seconds, he recalled something Julie had once said to Les. "I've decided to seduce you last." Last. To Julie, now was this final moment? Was she about to take her last action? Where had she gone? Les, you could have just ran the bar, bro. Oh my god, you fucking... Could have just ran the bar, but no, yeah, had to do this. I don't know, I don't even know, man. Maybe I should just stop reading COI at this point. Lumen activated the black mark on his shoulder and teleported to the edge of the boundless cemetery, right at the entrance to the mausoleum. The place looked like the mouth of a giant beast, with grey white stone steps stretching to the deep dark throat. Lumen suspected Julie had already entered the mausoleum. Whatever the demoness was planning, it already had to involve the sealed 001. Lumen sniffed around the entrance, detecting only scents of grass and trees. There was no scent of Julie. At the same time, he scrutinized the grey-white stone steps descending into the darkness, looking for fresh footprints. No sign. Lumen turned and transformed into a blazing white spear, shooting across hundreds of meters, landing beside the cathedral. He didn't take a detour, opening the nearest window and jumping in, running to Herberg. "Your Grace, do you know which room Celeste is in?" Lumen asked. "Third floor, the room closest to the cemetery with a view of the mausoleum." You knew. He didn't waste time further asking, igniting the flames on his body and darting out like a javelin. Lumen reached Celeste's room after a few turns, grabbed the handle and twisted it. Their room was tidy, with minimal furnishings, a single bed, desk, chair, and bookshelves. She's gone. He didn't enter the room, sensing it was filled with invisible webs. While preparing to burn the unseen webs, he observed, noticing Celeste may have been playing the part of a corrupted subject, as the room lacked any unnecessary items. With her disappearance, even the spare black robes were gone, leaving the room empty. Save for the mirror on the desk. The mirror was a common dressing mirror, not unusual in a demoness's room. But it sparked a thought. Did Celeste leave through the mirror world? Law enforcers exit and enter together. She couldn't have bet the cathedral turning a blind eye and letting her walk out. Is she meeting Julie somewhere in the mirror world? Did they use the mirror world to enter the mausoleum, leaving no trace? As Lumen's thoughts raced, forming a web of connections, he made a guess. Did Celeste patrol the mausoleum as a subject several times to place mirrors at key points or obtain coordinates? When I used the mirror cufflink, I couldn't identify which mirror in the mausoleum, or if they were dangerous. This was the demoness's preparation, and now Celeste has control over the mirrors in the mausoleum. Why not act immediately after her last patrol? Last few days were needed for preps? Lumen whispered, "Termi Boris, do you think I should enter the mausoleum now, or continue my studies?" Hoping Julie and Celeste fail. Before Termi Boris could respond, Lumen laughed. "I won't rely on others to fail." He had made his decision. He would enter the mausoleum to disrupt and stop the demoness's actions by buying a few more days. The only issue was that the mausoleum, he had to be blindfolded and couldn't read or study. Is there a way to convert text to sound? Lumen's grimoire mentioned related ideas and preliminary results, but I'm not a warlock. Lumen sighed, and then heard Termi Boris. "It is very dangerous." You're answering? He only mentioned the danger, not dissuading me. I'm going. Lumen calmed himself and chuckled. "Maybe we'll both become puppets." "Not including me," Termi Boris responded. Ho ho. Lumion turned into a spear and returned to the cathedral hall, and approached Harburg. Your Grace, I still have 2.5 books left to read. Do you have a way to convert the knowledge into sound so I can study while exploring? Harburg's wrinkle smoothed out. Good, good. This is the attitude needed for study. He took out a brass sheet and accepted the books from Lumion. Under his eyes, countless symbols and words spun. Lumion saw tiny glimmers rising from the books, converting into a river that flowed into a brass sheet. What kind of art is this? Lumion thought. Before coming to Lemberg, he had gathered detailed info about the Church of Knowledge, including some details of the Reader Path. He knew Sequence 5 was called Mysticism Magistrate and capable of inventing and creating unique spells. Hello, Seer! Soon the glimmers vanished and the brass sheet became more lustrous, with its symbols and patterns gaining more depth. With 2 snaps, Harburg broke off 2 corners of the brass sheet and molded them into a cylindrical shape. Without the aid of fire, breaking off 2 pieces of brass with my hands is quite difficult, let alone molding them like clay. Your Grace, are all readers this strong? Or is it just you? Your fingers could probably crush mine to dust. Insert them into your ears. The activation spell is Listen in Hermes. As I know you only speak this language and haven't mastered Jotun or Elvish yet. The deactivation is Stop. Harburg handed the brass sheet and 2 cylindrical earplugs to Lumion. Lumion argued, I know Hermes too. Hermes? Harburg laughed. Lumion sensed contempt for the Hermes language in his laughter. With time, yeah bro, Hermes is a fucking fraud, okay? We don't use his dog shit language, fuck him. With time running out, Lumion didn't ask any more questions. Inserting an earplug and pocketing the rest, he then transformed into a spear and flew out from the window. Lumion calmed his breathing and took a carbide lamp and white bandages in his traveler bag. After lighting the lamp, he wrapped the bandages around his head, covering his eyes. Lumion's vision turned pitch black. For a hunter who relied heavily on sight, this was far from pleasant. Feeling his way, he picked up the carbide lamp and cautiously descended the steps, focusing on maintaining his balance, worried about stepping wrong and tumbling down like a wheel. He wasn't afraid of getting hurt, but extinguishing the lamp. Being blind is no fun, Lumion thought. Constructing a mental map. Most of the map's content came from 001's ceiling info and the book's examples of mausoleum construction. Using the mental map in his senses and his control over his body, Lumion adapted to the darkness. Finally, reaching the bottom of the stairs, he felt like the darkness surged like a tide, eroding his skin. Almost simultaneously, his right palm turned cold, and the drain stopped. The underworld Taoist's mark? Lumion mused, in this situation, even without a lit lamp, I shouldn't encounter any issues in the darkness. When I find Julie and Celeste, I could use my hunter abilities to extinguish their lamps, but Julie's special, and Celeste likely is too. Blindfolded, Lumion turned and sensed the abscessed hand's head location using the semi-activated mark on his shoulder. He planned to find this first. Then he could toss the separated abscessed hand parts together to see what happened, giving the enemies a surprise. Perhaps because they were in the same mausoleum, Lumion sensed the summoning and connection from Handbro. He wasn't far. Marora, 5th floor of the cathedral. A law enforcer in a giant black robe stood at the window at the entrance to the mausoleum, which resembled the mouth of a beast. In his eyes, Lumion's figure could be seen descending the steps one by one. Elsewhere in Marora, Albus stood by a window. However, his gaze was not on the nearby buildings and Lumion, neither of which could be seen from the street. Is it starting? Blindfolded, Lumion moved steadily through the darkness, guided by the mental map in his head, approaching the location of the abscessed hand's head. This is the end. I need to turn left. It's exactly like the diagram in that book. Lumion reached out his right hand, not holding the lamp, and touched something cold and hard. It was likely a wall. He then turned left, walking a bit further and stopping. He sensed the abscessed hand's head just a few meters to his right, but the surroundings were silent. eerily so. Lumen turned and extended his hand in that direction, but felt only an equally cold wall. Behind the wall? But according to the diagram, there should be a room here, and a door is about 5 meters ahead. Though he couldn't see, the importance of knowledge became evident. Counting his steps, he reached what should have been a door and felt around. He fumbled for the handle, twisting it and pushing open the door. Musing, if Albus threw it casually and Hanbrode's head ended up here, but even if it bounced around, it shouldn't have gotten this far. Even though it's not very far from the entrance, there were 2 turns and the door is even closed. Growing more cautious, Lumen listened for sounds beyond the door, but it was silent. He entered the room cautiously, moving towards the corner where the rotten stench emanated. His right hand ready to draw the sword of courage from the traveler bag at any instant, while his left, holding the lamp, reached for the abscessed hand's head. The head was lighter than expected, placed on a shelf rather than the ground. Suddenly, his fist brushed against something slimy and damp. 5 cold finger-like things grabbed Lumen's left fist. A chill ran down his spine. Encountering such a thing blindfolded was much more terrifying. He couldn't even tell what it was, but he was certain it wasn't the abscessed hand's head. In a flash, Lumen's fist ignited with flames and the fist moved forward, accelerating suddenly, snapping the finger-like things. Boom! The explosion shattered the fingers, and Lumen used the semi-activated mark on his shoulder to teleport behind what he assumed to be the head. Humph! Lumen exhaled 2 beams of light from his nostrils and hit his target. Or at least he felt he had. Without waiting for the opponent to fall, he swung his left fist, burning with flames while his right hand stayed steady to draw the sword of courage. It felt like hitting an elastic dead wood. The violent blast pushed the slimy wood forward. Then there was silence. No sound of something hitting the ground. Cautiously, Lumen transformed into a spear and charged, feeling himself piercing through the withered tree filled with rust and flesh, landing in front of the abscessed hand's head. There was no resistance, no counterattack. Is it over? Lumen thought. He kept his right hand on the traveler bag, holding the carbide lamp handle in his mouth, reaching up with his left hand, prepared to use the spirit world traversal if needed. In this atmosphere, Lumen touched the slimy, foul-smelling, disgusting weeds. This should be his hair. Lumen mustered the courage and continued feeling around, and touched a decaying neck, then a wounded shoulder. A shoulder. Though mentally prepared, Lumen was still startled. The head couldn't have grown a body, right? After waiting a few seconds with no attack, Lumen grabbed the greasy weeds that were likely hair and pulled. As he applied force, there was a reluctant cork-popping plop sound. His center of gravity wavered as if pulling something free. He had torn off the head, simultaneously sensing the abscessed hand's body parts inside the traveler bag moving, but they couldn't breach the spatial barrier. This is Bro's head, and who tried to shake hands with me? Scenes flashed through Lumen's mind. A head dragging a bloody spine through the air. Is the mausoleum ceiling 001? There must be similar headless bodies. One of them took Hanbro's head, attaching it to its neck. No wonder Albus casually tossed it all the way here. If the body and the abscessed hand's head stayed together for months, something really terrifying could have happened. Lumen didn't dare put the head in the traveler bag, which would cause the body parts to unite. He wanted to wait until he encountered Julie, Celeste, Albus, or Wannick. Holding the head and lamp, Lumen prepared to leave. Suddenly he felt something and flinched his right shoulder, sensing someone was trying to pat him. But he moved away and everything returned normal. Lumen's body ignited with white flames that expanded outwards in a spherical shape. The flames only ignited the object that had originally held the abscessed hand's head. Unable to see, Lumen didn't dwell on what tried to pat his shoulder, recalling the earlier battle. He then walked back to the door and exited, as if he could see every detail. Finally obtaining the head, Lumen gained a bit of confidence. Using the mental map he had formed, he made his way to the lowest level of the mausoleum. Blindfolded with layers of bandages, he turned around, walked forward, descended stairs, and fumbled to open heavy or even simple doors. He didn't dare activate the brass amulet in Hermes, listening with one ear. He didn't forget to activate the brass amulet in Hermes, listening with one ear and monitoring the situation with the other. Bro, he's blindfolded and listening to an audiobook and traversing through some place that he's never been with a theoretical mental map based on standard construction. That's kind of, 400 IQ though. As he walked, Lumen conjured a flame in his palm and flung it, forming a straight sword. It seemed to hit something, but it could have just been an illusion. He had investigated whether he had encountered something real or if it was just a reaction from his tense state. Though his knowledge didn't cover it explicitly, his experience hinted at a key point. In the mausoleum, if you believe something is real, it will become real. If it doesn't pose a threat, ignore it. Spatial orientation? I have better spatial orientation than you, okay? I have to, find every part of your mom in the dark every night, and I do great. After descending another staircase, Lumen suddenly felt like he was being watched by numerous eyes. At that moment, he had the urge to tear off his bandages and see what was happening. Plop! A cold drop of liquid fell in the back of his left hand. It felt sticky, but there was no smell of blood. The droplets increased, falling faster and faster, like a sudden downpour. In the mausoleum, 20-30 meters underground, it had started to rain. What the fuck is going on? The book only mentioned a hall here, straight to the exit, but it didn't provide a detailed layout or anything special here. Lumen endured the soaking rain, and under countless eyes stepped forward. A drum beat suddenly sounded, as if striking Lumen's heart, making him feel like he wanted to spit out blood. The drums of liberation! The drumming grew clearer and more intense. Lumen also heard faint, scratching chuckle. Drumming echoed continuously, each beat resonating with Lumen's heartbeat, making him feel like he was about to vomit. Enduring the discomfort, Lumen pushed through the cold liquid like a sudden downpour under countless eyes and strange soft chuckles. 1 step, 2, 3. Suddenly a blood-red color lit up the bandage-wrapped vision. A reddish plain with an army of undead advancing. My first nightmare after I started studying? The thoughts flashed through Lumen's mind. He then noticed the scene before him fracturing, overlaid with images of burning palaces, forests of thunder, mountains of corpse, and a row of blindfolded subjects, all from his recent nightmares. Lumen realized it wasn't the bandages losing their effects, but a powerful hallucination induced by something. Meanwhile, the monotone voice in his left ear stopped reciting knowledge from the books and became sharp and raspy, shouting something unintelligible. Lumen's palm felt hot, like with a burning sensation. The aura of Alista Tudor had been triggered. Simultaneously, the mark from the underground Taoist grew colder, suppressing the emerging violence and madness, while a slight burning sensation appeared on Lumen's chest. Making your mom jokes? Devil! What, you think you can move across the 7 seas and that's gonna keep your mom away from me? Pfft, brother, listen. She and I would find each other in every universe, okay? Get rolled. Is this the mishmash of everything? Wait, no. Simultaneously, the mark of the underworld Taoist grew strong, suppressing the emerging violence and madness, while a burning sensation appeared on Lumen's chest. Is this a mishmash of everything? Lumen mocked himself. With these changes, the cold liquid droplets softened like cold, wet hands brushing against his body. The war drum beats no longer synchronized with his heartbeat, the mysterious gazes losing their unnerving power. 796? Oh, damn, awareness, you're almost here, bro. What, 30 chapters? You're laughing, you're right here. But, oh, you're about to get behind next week too, bro, because I'm about to put on the fucking jets next week, bro. I'm gonna try to see if I can get to like 850. There's no way I can get to 850 tomorrow because I have to do 15 chapters to do that. If that was the case, then I would be able to do... Then I might be able to get to 1,000 next week, but we'll see. Again, I'm not promising getting to 1,000 by the end of next week, but all I can promise is I'm going to try real fucking hard, okay? The raindrops, drumming gazes, and the singing remained unchanged, allowing Lumen to proceed. This must be the corruption of 001 sealing information and the knowledge I've learned, triggering hallucination, making the dangers here see me as one of their own, similarly corrupted. Goonacide? Truly awareness. Kami, he's talking about making the pirate Admiral, pirate, yeah, Admiral, just, you know, have pleasure, okay? Premeditated. You got there. This must be the wait, hold on. This also triggered the Alista Tudor's aura, causing a chain reaction with the Underworld Taoist and Mr. Fool's seal. Without these, I might have truly become a puppet like the others. Did Mr. Fool's seal passively confuse perception? Deciding based on similar levels of corruption could be a mysticism principle, or an exploit. As these thoughts cleared, Lumion raised his right hand, pressing it to his chest and muttering and joking to himself, "Praise the fool. Thanks to Archbishop Heraberg, thanks to the knowledge of power. Learning truly brings me joy." Cringe. While listening to the strange roars in his earplugs, Lumion tried to discern any hidden information, maintaining his quick pace to avoid provoking unseen dangers. Estimating his steps and distance, comparing it with his mental map, Lumion finally reached what should be the hall's exit. At that moment, the nightmare scene changed. He seemed to be at a high place, looking down on a mountain of corpses. His gaze moved down, passing the burning flames and the bright red lights in the eye sockets of the skeletons. The metallic surface of the armor reflected a single figure. Lumion saw it clearly. The scholarly serial killer, Gooey. This exile set to Marora with Lumion, Julie, and Les had vanished after spending time in the cathedral. The reflection of Gooey on the armor seemed to sense Lumion's gaze, suddenly looking up, but lowering his head again quickly, as if it was a mistake, and the scene vanished. Is he the mirror person infiltrating Marora? Lumion's eyes widened behind the bandages. He compared Gooey's figure to the mirror person from his nightmares. Highly likely the same. So it's him, and he even knows to study in the cathedral. He is now around that mountain of corpses. Lumion suddenly felt that Gooey may be as troublesome as Albus, Julie, Celeste, or Wannick. Recalling the recent scene, Lumion thought his perception was odd. At the top of the mountain of corpses, overlooking everything, did I share the perspective of 001? Right. Being heavily corrupted means becoming its puppet, and it seems high-level hunters can share powers, damage, vision, hearing, and feelings. Did 001 just consider me one of its own? It didn't give me powers like Wannick, probably not fully accepted. If I read all the remaining books and mastered the knowledge, would the corruption reach a critical point, allowing it to see me as a fully submissive puppet while I'm not? If that is the case, I could approach it and find a way to leave a mark. This matches my earlier guess. The purpose of the test is to gauge the level of corruption, my body's endurance, and the balance of the corruptions within. I need to ace it, really. If I hide anything and colored Heraberg's judgment, I'd be the one suffering. I would either have to become a puppet of 001 or die here due to insufficient corruption. Knowledge is indeed power. Lumion couldn't help but curse Julie and Celeste. These demonesses raised by pigs had prevented him from completing his studies. Since it already happened, he could only keep cruising while passing by the hall's exit. After walking a few dozen meters along the passage, Lumion suddenly felt a disturbance to the side, hearing the sound of something heavy moving through the air. Holding the lamp in the head of the abscessed hand, he lunged forward and rolled away. The sound of something heavy hitting the ground echoed. Using the sound, Lumion sketched the image of the enemy in his head, a giant sword. In the mausoleum, the only beings carrying around giant swords without feeling alive that Lumion could think of were the puppet soldiers. I'm being attacked by a puppet soldier? We're on the same side, damn it. Surprised, Lumion heard a whooshing sound as the giant sword swung again. Completely blind, Lumion activated the mark on his shoulder, teleporting behind the suspected puppet. Simultaneously, the knowledge from the doll crafting and maintenance book flashed in his mind. Puppet soldiers used in the tombs are uniformly 2 meters tall, made of iron. Their weapons come in 4 types: giant swords, hammers, spears, and bows. The weakest point of the puppet soldiers is their neck, due to the mechanical structure's issues and the inevitable development brought about by the mausoleum's corruption. As this knowledge flashed, Lumion leapt, tensed his chest muscles, spread his arms, and raised his right fist, aiming at the back of the soldier's neck. He ignited his fist with layers of flames, striking something cold and hard. With a clang, the compressed flames injected into the soldier's neck. Using the force, Lumen flipped back in midair while the explosion echoed, a call completed with fire infusion. The sound of the heavy metal fragments hitting the ground followed. As Lumen steadied himself, he heard Albus's voice. "You can see?" Albus is here. Did he witness me precisely dismantling the puppet? Lumen raised his right hand and reached into the traveler bag and responded, "Can you see too?" Albus said, "I can't see by myself. I'm blindfolded, like you, but I can share the vision of the puppets here." An example of the power of a high-level hunter, a gift from Medici. This gift can even piggyback on 001's puppets. "Did you make the soldier attack me?" Lumen deliberately harumphed and said, "That was a test. Only those who pass are qualified to cooperate with me." "Why would you think I want to work with you?" Lumen said disdainfully. "That demoness has a dangerous item. If we don't work together, she could take us out one by one." Guys, I don't know. I just don't think that this alliance is gonna work out. I don't know why. Don't ask, okay? It's not like the chapter title or anything has anything to do with it. I'm just saying, like, in general. Cooperate? You just want to use me as cannon fodder, Lumen thought. Well, let's see if I can find out what item Julie has. With his eyes closed, Lumen wore an expression of skepticism. How dangerous could it really be? Albus, also blindfolded, holding a lantern, leaned against the wall, watching Lumen through the eyes of a puppet 20 meters away. Chuckling inwardly, "You didn't put that ragged head in your bag but carried it. Not afraid of trouble, or are you planning something?" "And your right hand has been in that bag made by a high-level apprentice. The half-body should already be inside. You don't want to reunite everything now, fearing unforeseen consequences. Planning to use it as an indiscriminate weapon, eh? Perfect for surprising Julie and the others. Cooperation is great. It gathers the dangers together, letting them cancel out." Albus made an iron puppet's mouth move, its voice saying, "The item on the demoness is one of 5 crafted by the primordial demoness before her slumber. It can make the bearer a vessel for the primordial demoness's descent." A vessel for a deity's descent? The demoness sect plays high-stake games, don't they? He had briefly thought that Julie's item could only temporarily grant her the power of a sequence 4, not that she could briefly become the demoness herself. Even a fraction of a true god's power was intense. Albus laughed. Yes, a vessel. Fortunately, Julie isn't sturdy enough as a vessel. If she were an angel-level demoness, she could sustain the descent for a minute or two. A saint-level demoness could hold it for a few seconds, but her soul and body would collapse. She can maintain the state for more than 3 seconds, and that's with the cost of complete annihilation. Even without invoking the descent, the item grants her many abilities, allowing her to use Sequence 4 powers. If we don't cooperate, facing her normal state alone is tough, but not hopeless. But if she's pushed to the brink and tries the descent, we will not last the 3 seconds. By working together and using our trump cards, we might have a chance. 3 seconds in front of the primordial one, eh? Such ambiguous words would be a field day for the scandal reporters on Trier's Avenue de Boulevard. You twist your words into questioning your prowess. Influenced by vulgar jokes, Lumen criticized. He didn't believe in Albus's sincere cooperation. He thought this descendant of Medici would throw him out as a shield at a critical moment to endure Julie's deity descent. Like Roselle once said, in a forest you don't need to outrun the bear, just your companion. Fuck Roselle, oh my god. Frank often joked that in adventures, companions were the best shields. But Julie and Celeste already know my true identity, that I'm a lover of one of their peers, and that I was once an Iron Blood Cross Order member. They wouldn't place as much importance on me as they'd be wary of a Medici. So it's still a question of who's the primary target and who's the shield. Lumen said, "I can sense Julie's danger, but didn't expect it to be this severe. Of course, I still don't trust you. Cooperation and mutual vigilance are not contradictory. I can't trust you either, Albus said. When there's common interest, even enemies who've killed one's parent can cooperate temporarily. How much more so for us? What's the stream chat channel for? Seer, I don't know, at some point someone asked. Yeah, exactly, basically. While speaking, Albus thought to himself, working together against those demonesses is better than fighting you now and facing your hidden trump card head on. Even if I win, the cost would be high, and how would I deal with the demonesses and Wannick after? In a real fight with the demonesses, you won't be able to hide your trump cards. The situation will become chaotic. Everyone will go all out, and I'm the best at winning in chaos. Lumin gritted his teeth and said, let's cooperate until we deal with the demonesses. A wise choice. Albus did not even pretend to hide his joy. Lumin, holding the carbide lamp in the abscessed hands. How you think this goes down, Wiz? Hear me out. I think we try to take on the demonesses. At a critical moment, Lumin looks at Julie. Julie uses charm. He falls deeply in love with her. He backstabs Albus. Albus dies. Now, Lumin is wholeheartedly in love with Julie. Julie's about to cut his balls off. But Lumin, jealous that Celeste is her true lover, kills Celeste first. This angers Julie so much she breaks off the charm. He realizes, what am I doing? Kills Julie. She brings on the demoness. He throws out the abscessed hand, gets cover. Harburg shows up, protects him. Bang! Lumin survives. Now, I don't know what happens after that. Okay, that's as far as I've gotten for the moment. This is my current hypothesis. Call me crazy. Call me a romantic. Call me what you will. That is who I think. That is what I think. I will always root for love. I'll say it. I'll say it. Damn it. Lumin, holding the carbide lamp in the abscessed hand's head, began to walk slowly. I will say, off the cuff, I was thinking of the next sentence as I was saying the first one. That's not a horrible way for things to go down. I feel like this could work. Really. You see it. A little bit, right? Lumin, holding the lamp in the abscessed hand's head, began to walk with a posture of, I'm trying to show sincerity. He said, besides the demonesses and Wannick, we have another enemy. The mirror person from the special mirror world from the 4th Epoch Trier. His name in Aurora is Gooey. Mirror person? The puppet repeated the term. I'm not surprised. It's a problem left behind by that lunatic Alista Tudor. What do you mean? Lumin asked. You should know, my ancestor was a king of angels. He told me that the special mirror world was likely created by Alista. Medici? Wasn't he the one killed? Wasn't he killed before Alista became the Blood Emperor? How the fuck would he even know? What do you mean killed? Albus sighed. That's what I dislike with you hunters. If it weren't for today's necessity, I wouldn't have sought you out. You really have a way with words. I dislike working with you too, Lumin agreed. My ancestor entered the 4th Epoch Trier and confirmed its various problems. He said the special mirror world may not be a product of those problems, but the cause of them. The Red Angel Medici meant that the special mirror world wasn't created by the fall of Alista Tudor and the destruction of the 4th Epoch Trier, but existed before and led to the need of the new Trier to seal the 4th Epoch Trier. Could he be deliberately spreading false information? But this matches what I found in the Blue Avenger's treasure vault. The Blood Emperor may have been using the mirror world for his resurrection arrangements before he died. Similarly, Tamara family's connection with the special mirror world was also before the War of the Four Emperors. Lumin stopped and said Alista Tudor left too many problems behind, didn't he? Though the Knight of Swords said that amongst the crazy ancient gods, the undying phoenix ancestor Gregarious was the most troublesome, and was quite similar to Alista Tudor of the 4th Epoch, Lumin had only encountered problems related to the underworld from the Phoenix ancestor. In contrast, he encountered problems from Alista Tudor frequently, so in his mind, Alista Tudor was the most troublesome. Albus seemed to share this similar sentiment, and said because he is the symbol of calamity. Lumin suddenly had a deeper understanding of the Hunter Path. Albus continued, as temporary collaborators, do you need me to share the puppet's vision so you don't have to pretend to be blind? Such a good thing. Lumin became wary instantly, thinking about how Wanek had to fully submit to 001 to share a bit of power. Considering that all puppets here are minions of 001, Lumin pondered and said, no need. In a situation where he was not truly a part of Albus's team, he worried that sharing vision may gradually lead him to becoming a puppet. I was thinking even more so, imagine if he gave him the vision and then at a critical moment shut it off, just like getting used to like not having that again would just fuck you up, and that 1 second is all you need in a hunter battle. Sometimes being too cautious isn't good, Albus said without further persuasion. For the next time, Lumin followed his mental map, winding through the tombs, Albus occasionally using the puppets scattered around the area to remind him he wasn't left behind. After a while, Lumin slowed his steps and mumbled to himself in the examples of the mausoleum construction. There's nothing ahead. This is where Albus comes in, isn't it? Without hesitation, Lumin walked past what seemed to be a gate and entered the blank area in his mental map. He felt his skin prickling in an instant, as if approaching a fierce lightning bolt. Lumin recalled the forest of lightning in his nightmare, and his ears then caught Albus's voice. Wanek is coming, just a dozen meters ahead. Wanek? Lumin's mind tensed, picking up the most dangerous figure in Marora, and his spirit tensed up. Do 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 do. Yeah, in your toilet, and it clogs the toilet. It's not even just like he left it there and forgot to flush. No, no, no. He clogged your toilet. It's fucked, mate. That toilet's fucking. You can't even just get someone. You can't even just unclog the toilet. You just gotta you gotta throw the whole damn toilet away. You know, it's over. Lumin had always thought Wanek, who could drop powers from 001, was more dangerous than Albus and Julie. This lightning-filled area was perfect for Wanek to unleash his potential. No matter if Wanek could only change the weather slightly, or if he was on par with Julie and Celeste, who could become vessels for a deity's descent, in this forest of lightning, he was as powerful as any demigod. Together, Albus and I would get beaten up in this thunderstorm. Lumin's first instinct was to exit this area and find another path. That way, even if Wanek pursued him, outside his optimal environment, he isn't invincible. Lumin then remembered the nightmares he had had. After the force of lightning, there were mountains of corpses and bones. This meant that this was the only way to the core ceiling area. This fact was hinted at the examples of the mausoleum construction, even if it wasn't clearly marked. Or I could pretend to retreat, draw Wanek out, and avoid fighting him here. Wait, Lumin had an idea. Since previous dangers saw him as one of their own, would Wanek, a puppet of 001, make the same judgment? Wanek wasn't a fully intelligent human, but more like a sentient puppet. Such a target could be deceived. When I first arrived in Marora, I had a little corruption with him, from 001 with a mix of other things, so it made sense for Wanek to see me as an enemy. But now, after so much learning, the corruption is approaching a critical point. I should try. If it fails, I'll use shadow animation to withstand the lightning attack and seize the chance to teleport out. Lumin made a decision and stepped forth. As he walked, he recalled the nightmares he had had since arriving in Marora, listening to the brass earplugs recounting knowledge to him to align himself with the corruption. At the same time, he thought aimlessly about the various significant and insignificant problems to relax and prevent his body from becoming too tense. This could prevent Wanek from noticing anything unusual. Why did I end up in the Forest of Lightning? According to the nightmare, there should be a burning palace and waterfall like downpour ahead. Are they on a different route? Lumin endured the increasing prickling sensation, mental calculating at the distance. 3 or 4 steps to meet Wanek. As soon as this thought crossed his mind, he heard slow but steady breathing, masked by the rolling thunder. Lumin's back tensed as his right hand reached into the traveler bag, ready to pull out the headless corpse of the abscessed hand. After its previous writhing approach, they had fused together, but were unable to break through the traveler bag's seal to reunite. As he got closer to Wanek, Lumin, unable to see his expression, wanted to hold his breath. He quickly adjusted, forcing himself to be calm. In the next instant, he saw a gaze fall upon him, making the skin on his face break out in barely noticeable bumps. Wanek's gaze. By the way, after this chapter, I gotta take a quick I gotta take a little break, okay? Like 10 minutes or so. So it'll be a bit of a break. So I apologize. At this moment, Lumion wished he were a hypnotist. Not only could he keep telling himself, I'm an experimental subject. I'm an experimental subject. He maintained the same pace as the black-robed experimental subjects, walking ahead. 1 step. 2. Lumion tried to clear his mind. He walked past the imagined figure of Wanek. Yeah, thanks, dude. No, my mom's just about to get home and I gotta help her with the groceries and shit. He walked past the imagined figure of Wanek. 1, 2, 3. Lumion didn't dare relax. Outside the forest, Albus, through the guardian puppet's eyes, watched Lumion hold the lamp, ragged head, and step by step approach Wanek. He saw Wanek's gaze fall on Lumion, follow him for 7 or 8 seconds, then shift away, watching Lumion pass by. What? Albus squinted his eyes and laughed. So that's how he gets through here? No wonder he's been reading all these weeks. When we reach the destination, I'll have to guard against him using that. Lumion walked a bit further, feeling the prickling sensation fade as the faint echoes of sound from the brass earplugs leaked out, indicating he had left the lightning forest. After this corridor, I should reach the area of the Mountain of Corpses. Get fucking rolled, Wanek, idiot! Should I wait for Albus or go face Julie alone? I wonder how Albus will get past. Lumion stopped and listened for sounds from the direction of the forest. He heard slow, steady footsteps. Why did you stop? Wanek's sharp voice rang in his ears. A chill ran up Lumion's spine to the back of his head, making him almost pull out the headless corpse of the abscessed hand. He wanted to explain, but after a moment of thought, he chose to remain silent and continue walking. In the nearly frozen air, Lumion heard the thudding sounds pass by him and head towards the end of the corridor. He didn't dare stop again, but slowed his pace, moving like a snail, soon feeling countless eyes upon him. Seeing Wanek rush towards 001, Albus laughed at Lumion's pointless risk-taking as he leisurely passed through the lightning forest. Oh my god, fuck you, Albus. Fuck you. Using the guardian puppets in the corridor, Albus saw the wall made of square iron plates with surfaces as smooth as mirrors. At this moment, twisted pale faces appeared in these mirrors. These faces belonged to the residents of Marora, staring at Lumion. Occasionally, someone would extend a hand from the metal surface, quietly reaching for Lumion's body. Lumion merely swung a fireball in that direction, not making any moves. Seeing the pale hand retract, Albus made a puppet speak. I see Wanek didn't blindfold himself. Do you want to try it too? In the mausoleum, puppets of Wanek's level don't need to be blindfolded, not fearing replacement. Theoretically, I should be able to do it, given I'm almost like him now. Albus must have noticed Wanek didn't attack me and is suspecting something, and responded, I don't want to die yet, calmly. He then asked, should we wait here, let Wanek and the demonesses fight, and then take advantage? I haven't seen the demonesses ahead, Albus replied. They haven't arrived yet. Did they get lost? You were the first to enter the mausoleum, or have you arrived, but are hiding, waiting for the moment? Lumion's thoughts raced, but he resumed at his normal pace. As he walked, he smiled at Albus. You must have noticed Wanek didn't attack me, so will you let me go ahead unimpeded, join me, or rush ahead of me? Lumion worried Albus may lag behind, letting him face any unexpected dangers about the Mountain of Corpses alone, so he pointed at his unusual condition, making Albus cautious. The next danger, of course, should be faced together. No one should think of hanging back to reap the benefits after the fact. Albus laughed. Since we have agreed to cooperate, we shall go in together. That colors you in a different light, Lumion responded insincerely. What a dick. After several more steps, Lumion stopped, suddenly, feeling as though he was about to reach the Mountain of Corpses. Why did you stop? Albus asked. Why did you stop? Lumion retorted. You still don't trust me, Albus sighed. Aren't you the same? Lumion chuckled. Suddenly, he sped up, as if trying to leave Albus behind, and rushed to the door. Moments later, he heard a whooshing sound from the noise of a flaming spear piercing the air. Lumion scoffed and left the corridor completely. In the next second, feeling an intense sense of danger. This wasn't a premonition, but a hunter's instincts to dodge an attack aimed at his head. Are you here to die? Julie's cold, indifferent voice echoed in Lumin's ears. Lumin activated the black mark on his shoulder and withdrew his hand from the traveler bag, pulling out a bluish-black, swollen, headless corpse. Trier, in the apartment Franca and Jenna rented. Jenna said to Franca, "Your suggestion worked. I've digested the witch potion. Let's go!" We're back to Audrey, boys. God, fuck all that Derek shit. It's so depressing. We're back to Audrey. "I've digested my Sequence 7 potion," Jenna said. "Turns out getting close to mystical dangers was the key." Franca's face lit up with joy. "Are you going to take a couple days to adjust before going to the sacrificial square to advance, or are you going to do it now?" Jenna pursed her lips and said, "My spiritual intuition tells me it is best to do it now." Yay. Yeah, fucking back to the fucking Audrey subplot. Jesus. Back to the fucking exuberant manner, or whatever the fuck the term was, of account hall. Jesus. Alright guys, give me like 5 or 10 minutes. I just gotta go help out my mom with the groceries, because I'm gonna get my fucking ass beat if I don't. So, Kami, just, yeah, keep this music, or keep something lighthearted music. I'll be back in a little bit, okay? In the meantime, enjoy your favorite fucking streamer. Chair Whiz, I guess? I don't know. Fuck off. Okay, sorry, I'm back. That didn't take quite as long as anticipated, so that's okay. Hold on. Balatro, let's go. Alright. Lumin withdrew the headless when Lumin withdrew the headless corpse of the abscessed hand and activated the mark on his shoulder, he heard Julie's voice along with the sharp, exaggerated sound of a heavy object falling. Instinctively, he chose the furthest place he could sense as the teleportation distance. Just as Lumin vanished, Albus entered the area with 2 iron puppets. He hadn't been influenced by Lumin's feigned attempt to rush towards the mountain of corpses. Instead, he took advantage of Lumin's blindness, conjuring a blazing white spear and manually hurled it forward to drive Lumin out of the corridor, forcing him to face the potential danger and possible concentrated attack. What a dickhead. Albus himself lagged 2 or 3 meters behind, allowing ample time to react if Lumin were to be surrounded or controlled. Albus could avoid the danger zone and approach the mountain of corpses from the side. Of course, Albus couldn't afford to fall too far behind. Lumin had just proven he could prevent Wanek from attacking him, potentially reaching the destination quickly and unhindered. If Albus delayed for more than 10 or 20 seconds before entering the area, Lumin may have already made direct contact with 001. In war, acting too quickly or too slowly both lead to failure, Albus thought, as he heard the sound of an explosion. One of its puppets looked up, seeing a massive meteor engulfed in flames, illuminating the entire area. It plummeted towards the armored soldiers and countless corpses in the wasteland, hurtling towards the entrance where Albus and Wanek were. The meteor fell faster and faster, surpassing the speed of sound. Further away, Julie, wearing a slit, low-cut dress, stood in midair, holding a lantern. With a sapphire ring on her hand, she drew a downward arc, pointing to where Wanek and Albus were. Son of a bitch! For the first time since entering Marora, Albus cursed. Isn't she supposed to not have invoked divine descent yet? Isn't she not in a state of divine descent? How the fuck did she summon a meteor? What about Marora's rules? What about 001? Are there no restrictions? And she's not even blindfolded. Although the meteor hadn't reached the level to destroy a city, the true power of a demoness of catastrophe, Albus felt true fear for the first time in that moment. You're not the king, bro. As a member of the Red of War, rebuilt by the Ancestor, he could concentrate his power towards the King of Angels, share some of the power in return, and distribute part of the damage he had received. But in Marora, within the core area of 001, Albus could at most temporarily use Sequence 4 powers to some weakened higher abilities, and could only transfer a third of the damage at most. Now, even if he could transfer half or 2/3 of the damage, the remaining part would still be more than he could bear. If the meteor fell instantly, Albus would have already turned into a corpse. Wearing the blindfold, he leaned back and his hair ignited with flames. Beneath his skin, his bones and flesh faintly glowed. Next, transforming into a spear, carrying 2 puppets to his right. He had borrowed Medici's power. The plan was to first avoid the meteor's impact zone, and then use the Ancestor's damage sharing. His temporary metal transformation and the puppets as shields to survive. Yes, Albus didn't bring the puppets because he was fond of them, or because he didn't want to lose his eyes. They were shields. As a primary target, Wanek made the same choice as Albus, but with the final protection of the puppets, and was hindered by layers of invisible webs. As the strands of webs became invisible, turning grayish-white, Wanek's blazing white flame spear slowed down. The blazing meteor hit the ground about 10 meters behind Wanek. The rolling dust, intense flames, and terrified shock engulfed Wanek. The metal-colored body of Marora's most dangerous person cracked, turning into a corpse. Albus, who had fled some distance, was slammed into the white spear by the rushing shockwave, driving it to the ground. With a clanging sound, the first iron puppet acting as a shield quickly dented and partially shattered, losing its puppet-like feel. Next, the second iron puppet suffered severe damage, and then Albus, who had emerged from the spear state, spat a mouthful of blood. Not knowing where he had teleported to, Lumion first heard the explosion, then felt the tangible shockwave. His ears deafened for a moment, unable to draw knowledge from the brass earplugs. His whole body flung out, and the shockwave intensely had dropped to the level a Reaper could withstand. As for the flames carried by the shockwave, they could only ignite clothes, bandages, and hair, barely significant to a Reaper. Lumion landed heavily, almost dropping the lamp in his hand. The bandage on his face fell off, but fortunately he kept his eyes shut. At the same time, Lumion felt the headless corpse of the abscessed hand in his right hand and the rotting head in his left hand becoming agitated, each dragging his body towards the other. Lumion didn't stop them, releasing his grip. He once again activated the mark on his shoulder, teleporting to the limit of his current sensing range. He needed to distance himself from the merging parts of the abscessed hand to avoid becoming the first target of attack. When choosing a teleportation distance or destination, Lumion deliberately avoided the impact zone in the place where Julie's voice came from. In the thick, smoky environment, Lumion's figure disappeared and the two parts of the abscessed hand moved towards each other. The corpse grasped the tangled-haired head with only its hand urgently putting it on its neck. But this attempt was hindered by some force, as if an unspoken rule in the mausoleum required the head and body to remain separate. Of course, the obstruction didn't truly prevent the reattaching, it only increased the difficulty and slowed the process. On the other hand, the rolling flames and scattered dust calmed down. Julie, standing on the icy steps, saw Wanek had lost his life force, laying on the ground. Sighing, Wanek had been her most dreaded opponent, regretting that Lumion had fled early, missing the chance to team up and kill him. Just then, Wanek's body moved. The most dangerous person in Marora leapt up with two dark red flames in his eyes. He had become an undead creature. For a special creature of 001, being alive or existing as an undead made little difference. Moreover, as an undead, he had additional powers. He spread his arms, tilted his head back. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you thought killing me would kill me? Idiot. And let out a roar like a battle cry. Suddenly, the lantern Julie held went out, and the flames around the mountain of corpses extinguished. Only the lantern Albus's hand and the lamp Lumion held, protected by their hunter powers, flickered, but continued to burn. Darkness surged, but failed to engulf Julie. Nothing? Albus, using the last iron puppets as his eyes, couldn't help but frown. That a ring can protect Julie from the darkness? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Even if it could, why did you carry the lantern? To mislead us? And there shouldn't be a Demoness of Catastrophe's ability, even if it's a weakened version. What? At this moment, Julie let out a soul-scratching laugh and pointed to her left hand skyward. In the darkness above, faint light appeared as icicles formed, raining down like a storm. Targeting Wanek, Albus, and Lumion, Wanek roared again. People die when they are killed? If you're a pussy. Hold on. This is... Hold on. This, okay? This is literally what Julie did to Wanek right now. She just fucking struck him with a meteor instead of a car, but same principle. And then at the end, she goes, pussy. Oh, you died to that? Pussy. And Wanek goes, I ain't no pussy, bro. I can't die. Get up. Wannick roared again. It was like a battle drum, striking Julie's heart and causing her to stiffen. Next, a tornado connecting the heavens and the earth formed, sweeping all the icicles and reversing them to Julie. At that moment, whether it was LEMMiNO with his eyes shut, Albus with his eyes covered, or Julie and Wannick, they all felt the world shake and the creaking sound of the void. The rotting corpse of the abscessed hand had reattached to its neck. I am here! Hold on. Imagine abscessed hand comes back and his first words are, I am here! He's All Might. The rotting chunks of flesh on the blue corpse's neck and head began to wriggle and merge. It felt as if the entire world began to shake and the void around them creaking. It was as if something outside the void was pounding, trying to get in. A strange, ethereal creak came from afar, piercing Lumion. Is Handbro trying to get in and reunite? Is the breaking sound a sign that the seal is being temporarily broken? Lumion, with his eyes shut. Bro, can you imagine the god of knowledge is going, Bro, I offered you the item. Why are you breaking the seal? You're so fucking stupid. Lumion, with his eyes shut, could only speculate from the sounds he had heard and the movements he had felt. Though these thoughts crossed his mind, he heard the metallic, scraping sound of an iron puppet. Next to the assembled corpse, the space is cracking like glass. The puppet spoke. This was Albus relaying to Lumion what he saw through the iron puppet and the details he thought was important. Unable to see, Lumion had teleported near Albus to avoid the impact damage in Julie's location, while staying away from the abscessed hand's corpse. The choices were limited in making an encounter with Albus likely. He's breaking space in a hidden city like Fourth Epoch Tree or Marora. What the fuck is this? This exceeded his assessment of Julie's strength. He had been puzzled by Julie's display of confidence and the commotion she had created. He felt that if he hadn't teleported away, he surely would have died. This exceeded his assessment of Julie's strength, making him suspect she was in a state of divine descent, though it clearly didn't seem that way. Now Lumion had a guess. Amidst the intense shaking, Albus stopped the puppet's voice and spoke. Do you think it could be like a mirror shattering? Yes, a mirror, Lumion understood. This is the mirror world, an extension or a projection of that special mirror world around 001. After Julie and Celeste reached their destination, they set a trap, creating an entrance to the mirror world at the corpse of the mountain, corpse mountain entrance. So whether it was Wannick, Albus, or himself, none of them saw the demonesses when they peered into the corridor, but they were attacked. The Demoness of Black had told Franca that the Demoness sect once controlled that special mirror world, losing some control after the War of the Four Emperors, and further diminishing after the Pale disaster. At this moment, Julie must have already worn the divine artifact left behind by the Demoness, possessing very special powers. One may be limited use of the special mirror world. Within the special mirror world support, she could launch such an attack. If my guess is correct, this really is the mirror world. Lumion felt the world shaking. Oh, an abscessed hand said, Mirror world, schmirror world, give me my fucking head back, bro. Lumion felt the world shaking, listening to the sounds of the void snapping. And the commotions caused by Julie and Wannick attacking the abscessed hand's corpse. He turned his head to Albus. Is Julie blindfolded, he asked. No, Albus responded, as expected. If this was the mirror world, there'd be no need to worry about the 001's power leaking out and creating the corresponding mirror person. In the next second, scenes filled Lumion's vision. Fallen soldiers in iron-black armor like stalks of straw. The corpse mountain hundreds of meters to the side. Julie standing on icy steps with an unlit lantern, and Wannick with his red eyes. At this moment, Julie and Wannick both saw the bluish-black corpse of the abscessed hand as their primary target, launching rounds of attack. To them, it seemed much more dangerous than each other, Lumion or Albus. Indeed, Albus said with a hint of laughter, sighing in relief without hiding it. Lumion's thoughts raced as he quickly understood what Albus meant by indeed. This guy was also guessing this is the mirror world, but couldn't be sure. But so he encouraged me to open my eyes to verify. Damn. Good thing I was certain before I opened my eyes. In Lumine's sight, Albus, in his black jacket and red patterns and red-like hair, removed the blindfold and laughed. No wonder they kept that lantern, to mislead us into not thinking we were in the mirror world. No wonder nothing happened when our lantern went out. What a bitch. Are you any better? Lumine replied as the corpse experienced a sudden change. The surrounding void cracked like glass struck by a fist, dense white cracks spreading outwards, becoming sparse and transparent. And the cluster of dense white cracks shattered and a rotting pus dripping bluish-black hand flew in. The abscessed hand finally broke through the barrier and arrived. As soon as it appeared, it used spirit traversal to place itself at the severed wrist. Sensing this, Julie had a strong sense of foreboding. She let the ring on her hand emit a faint glow, and let her hand fall, and then lifted them from below. The ground shook and a small volcano formed under the corpse, spewing out red-white lava. This engulfed the bluish-black corpse, melting its flesh and attempting to solidify it within the rock. Wanek, with his dark red eyes in his eye sockets, had blood oozing from his brow, twisting at the strange patterns. As this change occurred, Wanek raised his right hand. The dead soldiers in iron-black armor on the ground stood again, their eye sockets rekindling with pale or dark red flames. Wanek then formed an almost entirely green spear with a hint of blazing white, hurtling it at the corpse. The undead soldier followed suit, creating blazing white spears mimicking Wanek's actions and throwing them at the target. The spear nearly obscured half the sky. Sensing this, Albus moved to the entrance with Lumine following. I love how Albus and Lumine are like, we're gonna let you guys sort this out, okay? I'm really sorry. Listen, I'm just really a guest here. It's your guys' place. Y'all have fun, okay? Soon, the spears covered the corpse of the abscessed hand, tearing it into small chunks. These pieces ignited, falling into the lava. Suddenly, parts of the lava caved in, and the rotting flesh seemed to be drawn in by invisible force, gathering together. The corpse reappeared in the blink of an eye in the lava and flames. The rotting flesh on the surface peeled off in pieces and flames, revealing fresh, vibrant flesh and pale skin as healthy as if it hadn't seen sunlight in a long time. As Julie and Wanek's attacks continued with hailstones and cannonballs, black flames, lightning strikes, and fireballs, but damage couldn't keep up with the reassembly and healing speed of the abscessed hand. Within seconds, the charred skin and rotting flesh of the abscessed hand's face fell off, revealing a delicate, handsome face. The eyes began to move softly, whether living in the demoness's circle like Julie, frequently dealing with demonesses like Lumine, or deeply rooted Albus Medici, as well as the uniquely conditioned Wanek. They all held their breath, entranced by the beauty. It was like admiring a timeless work of art. They didn't notice their hair growing visibly, previous injuries healing, consumed by the spirituality replenishing, as if a rainstorm had filled numerous lakes. They saw that on the flawless but feminine face, under the high nose bridge and just right lips parted slowly below, revealing clean white teeth, the entirely white, yet clearly muscular and perfectly proportioned body was exposed. This is like end of Naruto when Kaguya gets hit with the sexy jutsu and everyone's like, and everyone's like, that's never gonna work, and Kaguya's like, Seeing what was beneath the abscessed hand's legs, Julie swallowed, clenching her hand. The perfect body leaned back slightly, seemingly in pain. His chest began to swell, his nether regions shrinking, and his body line softened. He grew more and more beautiful, nearing the limits of perfection. But this transformation was stalled, as if missing some crucial elements. Taking advantage of this, Albus broke free from the stunning beauty's shock and immersion, touched the stubble around his mouth, and burned it off with flames, and frowned at Lumine. What fucking monster did you bring? I don't know, Lumine chuckled. Albus was stunned. Lumine's gaze lingered on the corpse of the abscessed hand. Indeed, it was a bro, but it seemed to be turning into a cis. But if this change is due to a characteristic, like a witch's, the gender should be fixed, not reverting to a male. This feels more like corruption. He was killed and sealed in pieces before the corruption fully changed his body, to prevent his reassembly and revival and the return of the corruption. Now, what's stopping that corruption from transforming him? Is it an issue with the source of the corruption or something about Marora? Just as LEMMiNO made some guesses based on his limited knowledge, he saw the white eyelids of the abscessed hands twitch open. They revealed a pair of beautiful scarlet eyes. Scarlet? Oh my god! Oh my god! What's the... Is it sequence 2? The vampire, like sequence 2, once they become an angel, they become a woman, right? What's the fucking... Fuck, what's the sequence? Beauty Goddess? Sequence 1! This man's a fucking sequence 1? Oh, Medici, pack it up, buddy. What, do you think you're... Oh, Alba's Medici. I gotta... Now, one would be a full-on woman? Isn't he a full-on woman? What are you talking about? Oh, Alba's Medici. I am the red angel by myself. Well, I got my angel right here, motherfucker. Bring it. LEMMiNO and the others were all captivated by those beautiful eyes, as if their souls were being drawn in. But those eyes soon filled with irrational rage, madness, and chaos. It made all those who saw it feel a deep discomfort. Just as LEMMiNO broke free from the trance, he saw the scarlet eyes of the abscessed hand focus on him. It noticed its own contractee first, showing no hesitation, displaying a ruthless, bloodthirsty impulse. LEMMiNO's heart skipped a beat. It's gonna attack me? LEMMiNO prepared to teleport to the side of the corpse mountain to avoid getting attacked. It felt as if it was unfair, only he had only been watching it and hadn't tried to interfere at all. The real culprits were Julie and Wannick. LEMMiNO's going, I'm gonna use his ability to teleport away from him? Oh yeah, let me try to use error on the fucking Lord of Mysteries, see how that goes. Are you dumb? Bro, you're supposed to get a fucking intelligence upgrade. Are you dumb? And I went through all that to get your body? I didn't expect you to thank me, but you're gonna kill me first? LEMMiNO grumbled internally while activating the black mark on his shoulder. At this moment, both Julie and Wannick sensed that the body, which had transformed from a rotting mess to near perfection, had become even more dangerous. Taking advantage of the abscessed hand's focus on LEMMiNO, they prepared their most powerful strike. Julie raised her left hand and pointed to the sky. High above, dark clouds swirled into a massive vortex driven by wind. At the center of the vortex, a black meteor began to take shape. The abscessed hand's gaze shifted from LEMMiNO to Julie. In those scarlet eyes, Julie's figure in her dress was reflected, followed by the image of the abscessed hand raising his palm. That hand clenched into a fist, and Julie's neck made a cracking sound. The mirrors on her body shattered one by one, but she couldn't escape. She floated up slowly, but her face contorted in pain as if someone was lifting her by her neck. Dude, he's doing the Vader. Hold on. This is literally her though. This is her. Walks into a room. What's up, pussy? Fucking say something. Say something. Oh yeah, pull out your fucking meteor, I dare you, idiot. Weakness disgusts me. Oh my god. You said, bitch, do you know who I am? You think your little fucking meteor is stopping me? Get the fuck out of here. Her hand pulled back as if trying to pry open the hand strangling her. The iron-black meteor disintegrated and the wind stopped. LEMMiNO, who had just appeared at the side of the mountain, saw this and genuinely marveled at the terror. If this had happened outside, carrying out the contract without having Madam Magician as a safeguard would be a suicide. I don't know if fucking force could save you here. He outranks her. She outranks her. At this moment, LEMMiNO sensed if she is who I think she is, she outranks Force. At this moment, LEMMiNO felt a strange sense of relief, as if an invisible shackle within him had been broken. He had completed his pact and was no longer barred. LEMMiNO's gaze swept over Julie, whose mouth was opening and her mouth turning a darker shade of blue and purple. Where is Celeste, he thought. Julie is responsible for blocking and interfering with the intruders. Is Celeste targeting 001? As his thoughts raced, he looked at Albus. This guy's also suspicious. He could influence and use the puppets in the tomb. Why did he wait until Julie and Celeste took action to enter? Was he preparing, or afraid he couldn't get past Wennick? Just as Julie's eyes began to bulge and she resolved to unleash all her power of the ring, the mirror world shook violently and cracks appeared. From within these cracks, flames emerged and seeped through. In an instant, the sky and ground began to burn. LEMMiNO felt an urge to submit, his body instinctively avoiding the nearly invisible, flower-like flames melting the earth, rocks, and void. Medici? A higher-ranking hunter has like a similar effect as the death pathway. You just feel like a overwhelming urge to submit. Who the fuck is here? He realized his resistance to burning damage was useless against these flames. At the same time, his right palm became unbearably hot. A violent, crazed aura surged within him. Deathly stillness of the underworld Taoist mark. The residual aura of Alista Tudor had fully activated. This left LEMMiNO feeling like an overinflated balloon pushed to the limits. The pain was excruciating. The area around the abscessed hand where the mirror cracks were most numerous and the flames were dense became a burning hell. Its head lowered and the hand squeezing Julie's neck loosened. Witnessing this change and indescribable pain, LEMMiNO recalled the passage from 001's information. Beyonders with strength surpassing Sequence 5 are forbidden from approaching. Warning, Beyonders with strength surpassing Sequence 5 are forbidden from approaching. Now the reassembled and revived abscessed hand clearly possessed strong godhood. 001 detected the presence of a demigod-level Beyonder and is breaking the mirror world's barrier. My Alista Tudor's mark was stimulated by 001's aura and triggered LEMMiNO. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's not Medici, but it's Medici level, what just came up. Okay, so I'm not wrong. My thought process was right, just wrong conclusion, okay? Albus Medici also lowered his head. Julie fell to the top of the frosty steps, finally escaping the near-death state. Her long, pale neck was swollen and bruised. Julie exhaled, raised her left hand once again, intending to seize this chance while the enemy, who nearly killed her, was restrained and eradicated. On the other hand, Wennick ignited nearly blue flames, stretched out his right palm, ignite, and directing the flames forward to form a giant fireball. The fireball attracted the nearby invisible flames, drawing them in layers. Behind Wennick, his undead army ignited by the flames seeping through the cracks, but instead of turning to ash, they merged with the flames. Flying into Wennick's fireball, the fireball grew larger and larger, gradually turning purple. Wennick, his eye sockets burning with the dark red flames, bit his lips tightly, reaching his limit. He then pushed the enormous, pale purple fireball towards the abscessed hand. As the fireball touched the abscessed hand's perfect body, a meteor ignited from the friction. The meteor fell faster and faster, hitting the immobilized target. Struggling against the aura of Alista Tudor, LEMMiNO first saw the explosion of light, then the rising dust, and finally heard the deafening boom. The world turned colorless and dark. Did it work? Julie thought. Though it was filled with dust, smoke, and invisible wind, Julie used her connection with the mirror world to make her eyes like mirrors, reflecting the scene. The perfect body had been blown to bits, its flesh charred or vaporized, leaving only a black skeleton. But that skeleton, new tender flesh, was glowing and growing, and bone slowly shedding its charred appearance. He's not dead? In the next second, Julie's forehead throbbed with pain as if the flesh there had grown a will of its own, trying to break free. Her ears buzzed and her mind filled with images of lofty, gentle floating scarlet flags. 001 noticed me. I can't hold on. I'm gonna become a puppet. Julie's body bent forward under the invisible weight, her eyes turning black. She looked at Wanek on the wasteland, at the rising dust, her gaze growing crazed. Clenching her fist, she said, I'll take everyone with me. Celeste, my beloved, the rest is up to you. Remember the famous line from Eternal Love? Stupid, live well. You're not Aurora. Fuck you, okay? Live well, Julie screamed, and her sapphire ring burst into a blinding light, invoking the Primordial One's descent. We're a Sequence 5. We're a Sequence 5. We just summoned a Sequence 1 and we survived. Now we're fucking Sequence 0. A fucking damn near great old one is gonna show up and we're just supposed to tank this? We're not even a demigod, bro. Cuttlefish is on crack. In the light, the bloody mark on Julie's forehead faded. Her hair floated and grew thicker. Gray-white quickly spread around her, turning the entire area into a wasteland. Lumion stiffened as if turned to stone, the aura of Alista Tudor causing endless pain. He then saw Julie turn to him. Back to Audrey. Trier, in the sacrificial square in the entrance to the third level of the catacombs. Franca finished checking the surroundings, ensuring no one else was here, and said, You can drink the potion now, she said to Jenna. Jenna took out the necessary materials from her traveler bag and mixed the potion together. Without hesitation, she raised the glass and gulped it down. Whoop-dee-doo. She felt herself float as if on a cloud, her body pricked by tiny needles. Her hair, influenced by an unseen force, defied gravity. Jenna vaguely saw snakes slithering. Each snake had a strange eye on its head, giving Jenna a strong sense of danger. The hallucination faded quickly, though, and Jenna saw a blurry, holy figure in white robe. The figure sighed. As a woman, do you know how dangerous this path is? I have no choice, Jenna responded. The holy figure was silent for but a moment and said, Make peace with your mere self. For you were always one. Any other questions? The figure began to fade. Jenna blurted out, Are you Lady Crismona? Who is your father? Just as she asked, Jenna wanted to slap herself. What a foolish question. Had she gotten into the habit of discussing nonsense with Lumion and Franca? There were so many more important things to ask. The holy figure was silent for a moment, and then said, My father is Alista to... Damn, Alista got his hands in the cookie jar, bro? What? Alista said, a taste of a demoness ain't bad, brother. So you're telling me... So, okay, hear me out. What are the chances Alista Tudor was a transmigrator? Hear me out, okay? Imagine Alista Tudor comes in so long ago and says, Damn, the taste of a demoness ain't bad. And then Roselle comes by several years later and goes, Damn, I gotta try and follow my senpai's lead, you know, and wrote down in his notebook, Taste of a demoness really ain't bad. That motherfucker wasn't lying. He cooking, though. He kinda cooking. Alista pulled his natural enemy, and theoretically the most beautiful person that could exist, right? Because you are the peak of the feminine path, right? You can't get prettier unless you want to say like the great old one of that pathway, maybe. But then you mix male and female. I don't know how that would work. Do you just become like net neutral? I don't know. Can you imagine? You just keep getting hotter all the way on both of the paths, but then at the end you just become a mid like 6.5, and you're like, what? What? Because they both cancel out, and you just end up like a mid 6.5, and you're like, no, what? Come on, guys! No one explained this to me. The entire world seemed to turn gray and white, even the almost blue flames on Wanek's body solidifying into stone. Lumion's first instinct was to reach into his traveler bag to retrieve the mirror cufflink. intending to use the opportunity created by 001 breaking through the mirror world's barrier and Julie being too preoccupied to intervene to escape the mirror world and return to the real Corpse Mountain. He had realized Julie had now been praying for a divine descent, and now a fragment of the demoness's power had descended. Lumin couldn't avoid the influence. His body turned stiff and grey, and the pain from the residual aura of Alista Tudor in his palm was the only thing keeping him moving. Damn, you think Cheek comes back, senses Alista Tudor's aura, and goes, "The taste of a hunter ain't bad, truly." Hold on, we gotta get a full 180, you know. The pain of Alista Tudor in his right palm was the only thing keeping him moving, allowing him to slowly reach into his traveler bag and grab the cufflink. Just as he withdrew his hand, before he could activate the cufflink, Julie, with her hair floating, turned to look at him. Her hair had turned raven black like thick long serpents, her eyes a brilliant crystalline blue. In that brief moment of eye contact, Lumin lost control of his body. He saw the grayishness spreading, climbing from his feet. Why am I the first target? They're way more dangerous. Why do you seek me out? Shouldn't I be caught in a broad attack? Then I'd have a chance to escape. Facing this situation, Lumin, an ascetic, couldn't help but feel intense anger. Despite his limbs turning to stone, he tried to channel his spirituality to activate the mirror cufflink. But as his spirituality approached the greyness, it solidified, turning to stone. His neck turned to stone, then his face and his brain. His last effort was to look up at Albus's position. The wasteland was empty, and the descendant of the Red Angel was gone. He had somehow disappeared. Son of a bitch! Lumin couldn't help but curse. In the next moment, his thoughts turned to stone. His eyes saw Julie transform into a radiating charm, even to stone, floating in midair, engulfed in flames. The demoness descended like a giant bird, trailing black flames that twisted and branched like serpents. Silently, the mirror began to collapse, dark voids mingling with the flames, swallowing the still skeletal obsessed hand, immovable Wannick, and the petrified Lumion. The end of this world had come. The silent darkness filled every void, and after an indeterminate time, a violent, invisible flame flickered to life, illuminating Lumin's mind. He felt the burning pain and icy rot in his right palm, and the heat in his chest, and snapped his eyes open, and saw a 100-meter-tall mountain of corpse. I'm alive? Lumin's last memory was turning... I love how, even now, Klein is like, I gotcha. His last memory was turning to stone and the destruction of the mirror world by Julie. He instinctively looked at... Don't follow unaware... Don't do that. He instinctively looked down and saw the grayishness recede from his body. Don't harsh, you're... Fuck you, unknown. Fuck you. No. God, this is way worse. Oh, fucking dick. He instinctively looked down, seeing the grayness recede from his body. He confirmed this wasn't a nightmare and a hallucination. How am I alive? Did someone help me? Lumin doubted he could have survived such an apocalypse alone. At that moment, he heard Albus Medici's voice. You can traverse the mirror world. Just like my escape plan, you did it while partially petrified. Impressive. Did you rely on the cufflink in your hand? Lumin turned to see Albus in his tattered black and red jacket. Crystalline necklace around his wrist. Albus had his eyes closed, but was surrounded by undead soldiers. Lumin remembered he should also close his eyes. This was likely the real area on the Corpse Mountain. Keeping his eyes closed may result in silently being replaced. Nothing happened, just as I expected. I'm now Wannick's ally, one of the dangers, a puppet of 001. No need to fear any forbidden rules anymore. If only I'd realized it earlier instead of being stunned and confused. I could have closed my eyes before Albus looked, taking advantage of the situation to trick him. Lumin regretted this missed opportunity, but also understood how Albus had avoided the descent. Like him, he took advantage of 001 breaking through the mirror world barrier and Julie being preoccupied, using an item that allowed him to traverse the spirit world and escape. The only difference was Julie, who hadn't fully completed her divine descent, targeting Lumin instead of Albus. Why were you watching me? You should have been focused on sealing the world. Then no one could have escaped, Lumin cursed Julie, realizing that he should have activated the mirror cufflink just before his thoughts turned to stone, which saved him. But as he checked, he realized something was wrong. The cufflink still had 2 uses. He hadn't used it at all. Could Heraberg have helped me? After all, gods need special arrangements to descend even a fraction of their power into Merora's underground. It's likely an external entity intervened. It couldn't be Julie, who suddenly felt how kind I was as a boss. Could it? But this wasn't the time. There were many dangers. He glanced at Albus, noticing the Red Angel's descendant studying him. Yeah, indeed, Albus didn't attack me, not because he didn't want to, but because he had concerns. I exceeded his expectations, and my escape was full of mysteries. Oh, he said it! He said the thing! He feared acting rashly may trigger a trap. Lumin's thoughts were interrupted by a sudden change. Julie appeared in the dimly lit sky. She's alive? And in the divine descent state? What do you think helped Lumion? Well, Herabergen is a top contender. I also do think Klein is an insignificant option, I'll say it. Could also, is there a chance? Cheek just said like, yo, you got the aura of the hot fella on, yeah. Nice. And let him go. Possible? Do you think maybe she went, damn, I missed that guy. I liked him. You can go. He quickly noticed Julie's figure was unusually transparent and the ring on her left hand was gone. He heard Albus sigh. Julie lowered her head and gazed at the top of the corpse mountain. Following her gaze, Lumion saw a 2 or 3 meter tall iron black metal... Okay, you know what, Harsh? What you're telling me is that you're not a romantic, okay? And you don't have to be. That's fine. You don't have to be. But don't judge me because I am. How dare you? How dare you, okay? Yeah, I'm a romantic. I said it. I'm sorry you don't... I'm sorry you're dead inside, okay? I believe in love. Just a glance made Lumion feel dizzy, his neck stinging, and the smell of blood seeped from various parts of his face and forehead. 001? Salinger's blood banner? My corruption is deepened? It seems I don't need to finish reading all the books. Mastering the current ones is plenty. I can't rely on direct corruption to save time. It's easy to surpass the critical point. Lumion averted his gaze, noticing Celeste standing not far from the banner. The demoness, wearing a black robe, was looking down at the spot where the iron black metal pole was embedded at the top of the corpse mountain. The next... Seer, you prove it to my heart every time you show up in stream, buddy. Love you. The next second, she sensed something and raised her head, looking at Julie in the sky. Julie's lips curved into a beautiful smile. She parted her lips as if to say, I'll leave it to you. In that instant, Lumion saw Julie's figure fade and shrink, turning into a puddle of filthy blood. The blood, only palm-sized, fell straight down. The target was a charred banner of 001. Celeste finally snapped out of her daze and shouted, Julie! At that moment, Albus's expression changed slightly. He transformed into a long spear of blazing white with a hint of blue shooting towards the banner, seemingly unwilling to let Julie's blood stain the banner. You're putting in some effort, Lumion finally muttered, not rushing to follow Albus to the top of the mountain. He planned to join after Albus and Celeste had fought. Of course, Lumion could see that Albus valued Julie's blood and didn't want it to become a mark on the banner. If Albus didn't perform well and failed to stop the blood from reaching, Lumion would teleport to help. Did you see the poster for the new specials? I have not. Walter, holy long time no see, brother. Seizing this rare opportunity, Lumion took out an item from his traveler bag, not the Sword of Courage, but the Devil Whisperer bone ring from Hisoka. Just saw the poster. Is it... Oh my god, thank you. I just saw you put it in there. Holy shit, that is so pretty. What the fuck? Anyone who hasn't seen it, let me just put it up on stream really quick. What the fuck? That's so pretty. Holy shit, look at this. Damn, Derek. But damn, though, that looks so... The sun are... It's so big, what the fuck? How do you see this ending? Celeste falls in love with Lumion, becomes a part... she becomes part of the demoness harem we have going. As soon as Lumion's fingers touched the glossy bone ring, he felt a searing pain spread from the point of contact through his body. He looked down to see thin wisps of purple sulfur flames emerging from every pore, charring the surrounding skin bit by bit. The pain was so familiar to Lumion, he merely furrowed his brow slightly and gritted his teeth. He then took out the Devil Whisperer's bone ring, slipping it onto his right finger with a twisted, agonized devil face facing up. Lumion's gaze turned cold, a deep blackness forming in his irises. The malice within him swelled, everything overwhelming the ascetic tolerance and clashing fiercely with his own will in a fragile balance. Lumion took out some ice lemon fish fillet from his traveler bag, stuffing them into his mouth and chewing to boost his fire resistance. At the same time, sensing the surrounding malice, he was searching for the mirror person GUI. One negative effect of the Devil Whispers was that it made the wearer, anyone around 100 meters, more prone to malicious thoughts and impulsive actions. Since the mirror people tended towards extremism to begin with, this would make them the most obviously affected. With this premise, the Devil Whisperer also granted malice perception, allowing the wearer to sense if those around him harbored ill intent. It could not detect dangers in a brewing stage like a true devil, but was still a mystical form of perception. As long as the mirror person developed a malicious intent towards him within a certain distance, Lumion believed he could sense it. Sulfur flames burned across his body. Lumion's icy gaze swept across the area littered with corpses. Faint, nearly invisible flames flickered at various points of the corpse mountain, illuminating the wasteland and sky, preventing the total darkness from taking hold and allowing Lumion, Albus, and Celeste to remain visible. After just a second or two, Lumion smiled. He sensed intense malice coming at him from about 10 meters behind, emanating from a corpse, no, from a mirror black breastplate. Found you. Without turning around, Lumion teleported to the corpse's side amidst his slow movements and activated the mirror cufflink. Through the metal surface, GUI peered outwards from the black breastplate. After discovering the two demonesses had used the mirror world to reach here, he slipped out quietly, leaving it to Julie and Celeste. He wasn't worried they would beat him to 001, since based on his knowledge and investigation, he believed no one could gain 001's approval before its agent Wanik was eliminated. Brute force or exploiting loopholes would achieve nothing until the throne was vacant. GUI felt relieved that he had made this wise choice, having directly experienced the mirror world projection's destruction just now. A mere shockwave of that scene would have vaporized him. Confirming Wanik's death, he then slipped back through an ordinary mirror to the Corpse Mountain's vicinity, seeking a chance to gain 001's approval. He saw Julie turning to filthy blood and fall, Albus transforming into a fiery spear to stop at, Celeste screaming, and Lumion calmly putting on a ring. An intense malice welled up. You're all obstructing me. Do you think you have to leave soon because 36 is cliffhanger? I was going to end at 35. Is that okay, Kami? After entering Marora, as one of the rare readers turned Mirror Path, can you read more chapters? I don't think so. I think we'll end at 35 today, guys. I think we'll end at 35. I'm sorry. After entering Marora as one of the rare readers turned mirror people, GUI had initially felt confident, supplementing his knowledge at the cathedral while conducting field investigations to gather intel. After covertly observing capabilities of Albus, Wanik, Julie, and Lumion, GUI began doubting himself. Which of them could I actually defeat one-on-one by exploiting my powers? Probably only Lumion, he thought. And when it came to learning speed, although I far outpaced Lumion, it seems I can't handle nearly as much corruption as him. Am I really the one with the least hope here? Shaken by these doubts, GUI devised a plan to lurk in the shadows, using his special nature to emerge once the heavyweights had clashed and weakened each other. So far, his plan had worked great. The biggest obstacle, Wannick, the most dangerous threat, Julie, were dead, their souls extinguished. Once Albus, Medici, and Celeste decide the winner amongst them, I can join the fray, kill the survivor, and take on the weakest, Lumion. Should I ambush Lumion while he's off guard? He's no demoness or mirror person, with no active substitute. A single hit could kill him. These malicious thoughts. This is the home stretch of chapters for this arc. Yeah, I figured that. By the way, can you guys let me know what is the ending of this arc? Like, where do I need to end for the arc? Because I need to know for tomorrow. Like, how much time do I need to carve out? These malicious thoughts grew clearer and stronger. Before he could decide, Lumine's figure enlarged, appearing right before him. Then Lumine vanished. In his place, a vicious pool of black liquid emerged, as if the deepest, most vile desires of the human heart had taken form. Desire incarnation. The liquid surged up, enveloping Gooey. The shattering mirror came from within the inky fluid as Gooey's silhouette appeared on the edge of the dim, empty space. He saw the liquid rapidly coalesce into Lumine's form, chuckling. Didn't know I had a mirror substitution, did you? A direct attack like this only cost me one mirror. Before the words had left his mouth, a violent emotion welled up inside Gooey. He reached for his neck, feeling warm blood. Pain lanced to his mind. Gooey triggered his own mirror substitution, shattering countless shards that rained to the ground. His silhouette now flickered in another corner. His emotions had become frenzied, vicious, and insane. His skin aged and withered like patches of brown tree bark, the words, "my child," echoing in his ears. His abdomen slowly swelling, with his eyes taking on a silvery white with streaks of black, his aura dissipating and his body decaying, chunks of flesh slogging off. Lumine saw various corruptions affecting him. It was a veritable smorgasbord. When he used Desire Incarnation, that inky black pool didn't just contain his own emotions and desires, but those from the emotions and desires deeply influencing him. These high-level corruptions would be difficult for any non-godhood, being resistant to even saints. Facing such potent corruption, failure to proactively trigger one's mirror substitution immediately would be too late once the liquid made contact. Now Gooey was horrifically corrupted. Seeing the mirror person degenerate towards an unspeakable form, Lumine had the intuition to continue observing. He immediately stepped back, leaving the metal mirror to return to the corpse and surrounding wasteland. He then saw the smooth mirror-like surface of the breastplate with tendrils of black mist seeping out. Lumine turned his body and sprinted to the edge of the corpse mountain, sometimes transforming into a spear to propel himself, sometimes teleporting dozens of meters, climbing upwards through the mountain of corpses and bones. He aimed to lead the out-of-control Gooey, corrupted into a monstrosity, to Albus and Celeste, telling them, "You're welcome." The word smorgasbord is killing me? Why? Did I pronounce it wrong, you think? Smorgasbord? Whether climbing by hand or foot, using his contracted ability for short-range teleportations, or ascending via the spear, Lumine felt an immense oppressive presence behind him, an indescribable, constantly shifting black shadow cast onto him. He had now no way to know what horrific form the pursuer had taken on or what state it was in. He only knew for certain it was not something a human should observe. Suddenly, Gooey's voice rang, "Mommy!" Lumine's mouth twitched, realizing that even with the strange corruptions on himself, the one from the Great Mother still stood as the most exceptional. After all, Mr. Fool had left a seal, not a corruption. Lumion fled even faster. He's going, "Please don't touch me, no!" Finally, seeing the summit of the corpse mountain, Celeste and Albus Medici. 8:45? Oh, that's not bad at all. It's only like 10 chapters anyway. Okay, I was gonna do that many. Alright, boys. Tomorrow we end Marora. How's that? How is that? Dare I say we're making pretty good fucking timing, boys. Tomorrow we'll finish Marora. And then next week, you guys are in for genuinely something so fucking cool. I'm gonna be streaming my tits off, alright? We are running through this bitch, okay? By the time I get done, we're gonna be going damn, COI, we're in the home stretch, boys. Let's go. Are you staying for the special? Kami, I gotta go see my family. I haven't fucking seen them all fucking day. I've been literally working, and then I don't know who's streaming. I don't know. Yeah, I will be streaming my tits. Hey, yeah, hey there. If I reach 100 members, yeah, fun fact. That's a joke for the OGs. Okay, they'll get them. All right, have a good night, boys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.